Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Emily and today I'm going to be doing a video a little bit differently today. So the video is going to be, I'm going to give 10 recommendations for 10 subscribers. So I was a little bit, I'm a little bit surprised that 10 people wanted to subscribe to my channel to begin with. So I'm just really happy and I thought I'd do a different video and give 10 recommendations from me to you. And if you want to give me any recommendations based on what I recommend, comment down below any recommendations you have for me. I might try reading them at some point in the new year. So my first recommendation is going to be if you're into graphic novels as well as you want to read something a bit more feminist, I suggest Paper Girls by Vaughan. I didn't think I'd love this so much until I read it, and I love it. So I really did enjoy this sci-fi graphic novel. I've only read the first 2 books. This hardcover contains the first 2, and I'm hoping to read the last 4 books in the series. I think it's 4 in this month. So hopefully by the time this video is uploaded, it'll be done and I've read it and I'll put on the review. But I really enjoyed this, and I think anyone who wants to read any at least feminist graphic novels, this will be a really good one for you guys. So if you want a book that is about a dead guy who is good, I recommend Skulduggery Pleasant by Landy. It is a wonderful novel about a dead guy who is good, and that's all I'm going to say because it is an enjoyable novel to read just without knowing much about the story to begin with. Next, if you want to read something that is a lot more in a nice magical society, I recommend Nevermore by Jessica Townsend. At least the series, but especially read the first book. I fell in love with the first book. I picked it up. I was like, oh, I don't really want to read. I might just have a quick look to see if it's something I like. And I picked it up and I read at least through half the book within 2 hours because I was so engrossed in this book, and I feel like it is a perfect recommendation for anyone. Honestly, no matter what your age, you'll love it no matter what. If you want something that is a little bit more romantic but also not romantic, I suggest Eleanor Park. It is a beautiful YA novel and I really loved it when I read it, and it's by Rowell. I keep forgetting to say the author's names. But I really did enjoy this book a lot, but yeah, it's got all the ups and downs, and it's just a beautiful thing, a beautiful book to read, and I highly recommend it. Next, if you want to read something that is a Disney movie, but at the same time not a Disney movie, I recommend As Old as Time by Liz Braswell. It is a retelling of the Beauty and the Beast Disney movie. As I said when I did, I think it was last month's wrap up, I said that I thought this is I don't know what the book entails, but it is definitely a retelling of the movie, but it is a beautiful different version of the movie that I kind of in some way like a little bit better than the movie, but it has all these twists, all these ups and downs of Beast and Belle's relationship, and it is a nice story and I really did enjoy reading. So if you really like watching or reading books about dystopian futures / dystopian realities, such as Hunger Games and stuff like that, I highly suggest you read Tomorrow When the War Began by Marsden. I watched the film, I watched it a little bit ago, and I didn't mind the film. It wasn't the best, and so I think it put me off reading the book, but now that I've read the book, it's so much better than what the movie was. So yeah, if you've watched the movie to this yeah, still pick up the book. It's still a good read, and I really think anyone who is a fan of like the Hunger Games would be a fan of this series. To follow on with these dystopian realities and futures and stuff like that, I will also recommend The Maze Runner. I know it was a really big blockbuster movie, so probably a lot of people have watched the film and heard of it, so I think it is still a good recommendation for for a lot of people. Like, it is very sci-fi and it can be very intense sometimes, like especially with the disease and especially today's world, but it is still actually a really good series, and I recommend reading at least the first 3 books. If you're really interested in the whole series, I'd suggest reading the last 2, but if you're not that engrossed in it, don't really read the last 2 books. They're just kind of add-ons to get more of a sense of why this disease happened in the first place. But yeah, it's a good book, and I thoroughly enjoyed this series and definitely want to recommend it. Next, I recommend a book that has probably been on everyone's TBRs for a very long time, and that is The Book Thief by Markus Zurak. It is a beautiful novel. I remember reading it for the first time and really loving the story. It is told by the perspective of death, so that makes it like a really cool concept, and I really need to reread this. Like, I really need to do it. So I have to do that one day. Maybe next year I'll reread it. But yeah, it's a good novel, and I highly recommend everyone needs to put this on their read list, like now. Next book I recommend is a book that has probably been on also everyone's TBRs for a bit, but also it is a book that is based on current times, and that is The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. And like, being a white person, I can't exactly understand what it is like for a black person to like live in a society that we live in today, and this book kind of brought it a little bit more like closer. Like, I kind of could understand a lot more as to what people go through in these communities and these areas and everything, and it's really sad that, you know, it took a book to like understand that, but at the same time it really brought the forefront of the Black Lives Matter in this book, and it is such a beautiful book, and I really suggest everyone read it. It is beautiful, it's nice, and I love it. So my last recommendation will be for anyone who loves some hot gossip, wants to, you know the ins and outs, the first in kind of news. I recommend The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. And look, I really love the writing. It's just so beautiful, and it's just like how it flows and how the story just comes together so beautifully. I recommend this for anyone who loves celebrity gossip, celebrity news, like keeping up with celebrities. Like, you'll be like reading this book, you'll be wanting to just like get more information about Evelyn Hugo, and you'll be wanting to know more and more and more, and you would start like googling like these made up movies and this actress, because you're like, well, this feels so real, and it does, and it's beautiful. Like, it's such a beautiful book, and I recommend it to anyone who, I suppose, likes celebrity gossip as well as contemporary in general. And historical fiction. That is all my recommendations for me today, or for you guys. So as I said before, please let me know if there are any books you would recommend to me, and I might consider them, because I've got a big list, and yeah, it's a big list of books I need to read, because I kind of want to try and get through the majority of books I own, and because I keep adding books to my list, the list is not getting any smaller, but we'll see. Hopefully maybe the book might be already on my list. Who knows? I really want to emphasize thank you so much for, for watching and for just being there, I suppose. Like, it's, I don't know, like, even though 10 is not a lot, but it is such, it's just, yeah, it's so nice to just get to that point where it's just like, wow, okay, like, people are starting to notice you, and like, I've already gotten, like, as much as I really hate it, but like, my Harry Potter video that I made like a couple of months ago is getting closer to 100 views, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it is a lot because it's going to be my first 100, like my biggest video on my channel, and it already is my biggest video on my channel. And then like a couple of weeks ago I uploaded a book haul and somehow that's already gone to 50 views. Like, I don't even know how that happened. I'm really happy, and you know, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, thumbs up, comment, subscribe. All the help is beautiful and it is really nice to see. Anyway, until next time, bye.